till the blue grass turn yellow and the yellow leaves float in the air. And Yong Cheng, Canto 61, of the line of Shanghai, by the silk cords of the sunlight non disunia. Second year, second month, second day, Shengyu the edict. Each year in the elder spring, that is the first month of the springtime, the herald shall incite your compliance. There are 6 rites for festival and 7 instructions that all converge as the root tun pen, the root veneration. From Mohammed no popery. To discriminate things, sh, solid, mu, a pattern, fa, laws, kung, public, zu, private, great and small. That Odysseus old Ma missed his conversation to see the light pour, that is, towards sinceritas of the word comprehensive, kaine ennoia. All astute men can see it encircling. Jove saw it, my sire also, with splendor. Catholicity, woven in order as on cords in the loom. Cognome, indirizzo, pienu. Sincerity, simplicity. Red south, naivete. Meng, the people, the many, the many, the perishing. Sage men have plans. Simplicity 1,000 generations no man can change. The sage emperor's heart is our heart. His government is our government. Yea, how Xiao Don, the venerated emperor, watched things grow with affection. His thought was not dry on a shelf, not exhaustible on sale at the Kwai shop. That job was the swan's flight, Hung Ye, to trace out and to bind together. From sonship this goes to clan, and to avoid litigations. Out of the field, from the trees, food is the root, feed the people. This much I, Chen, have heard. Yo el rei, yang nourish, chima, set out hemp, chung mi en, cotton, dung, all together. There are functions, rats' gnaws and birds' pecks, litigations, pine rat and oak cat, squirrel to you, sparrow, hemp bird, rat's gnaws and tit horns, rush to law without cause. Tie knots into ruin of property, fie for waste time, flounder in business. The organization is functional, and to maintain the liquidity begin at the precinct level. Dripping with sympathy to fan up contentions, good luck is a door that is sealed, nor scrape iron off the point of a needle. There can be equity in ploughing and weeding when men of war know the odes. Esteem sanity in curricula. You cannot leave out the classics. Prey on the people because they have no solid principles. And of Towser's, Chew says, concerned neither with heaven, earth, or with anything on the square, but wholly subjective. For the dragon moaning, the screaming tiger, mercury pills, pharmacopoeia. And the bud rot that floaters eat without maintaining their homesteads, hence the learned Redson's remarks. And don't believe papists merely because they helped with the calendar. Odysseus old Ma missed his conversation. Nestor, too intelligent to prevaricate. Unsifted hot words at first merely to flatter. As an animal, his eye eating light, or run to rat holes. Laws must be for the general good, for the people's uprightness, their moral uprightness. Chung venerate, black out the eroders, see, venerate honest men. The great balance is not made in a day, nor for one holiday only. The business of relatives is filiality. A gentleman's job is his sincerity. Build penye, the family profession. It will bring luck out of the air. If you mind your own business, they, the phonies, will fade out before they have to be druv. Wang, that man's phallic heart is from heaven, a clear spring of rightness. Greed turns it awry. Bright gleaming Ming Quang in traverse. Need you go so far to burn incense? Let the laws be made clear, illuminate the words of procedure. Peace comes of good manners, feng shu, li feng shu, intenzione, li feng shu jiang. The sages of Han had a saying, manners are from earth and from water, they arise out of hills and streams. The spirit of air is of the country. Men's manners cannot be one, same, identical. Kung said, our classic of heaven. They bind through the earth and flow with recurrence. Action, humanitas, equity, ne ultra crepidam. For greater exactness, the 10th is penye, a developed skill from persistence. Thus Mangtzu, Chrysippus, Zimbabwe, the ungood merely dissolve, se non fosse cive. A share, not a fixed charge. Don't pester scholars nor lose life for bad temper. Heaven, man, earth, our law is written not outside their natural color. Water, earth, and biceps, fa lu. Crusaders' bows gnawed by gold lice, Normandy pawned. Some of the non-interest bearing, TCP 78. A man's paradise is his good nature, Kati. Doubled Quang Ming. Synesius thought myth expedient. Al-Kindi, the classics if our intentions were serious. Mencken said no longer from. Han 9, i.e. 9, believed in the peoples, different each, different customs, but one root in the equities, one in acumen, with the sun, Chi, under it all, and faith with the word. Hills and streams colour the air, vigour, tranquility, not one set of rules. Vigour, quietude, are place. Wenong of Han time built schools, road circuits selected, and even now you can't buy office in 4 streams. Tuan Cheng, the teacher's job is not just filling paper with detours, nor in dull float fu po, for Tuan and verity. And still men lust after, try to build on lopsidedness. Phoenix to Tahung tree, a mirror to flowers as water is to the moon. Bother, said Chu An Kung of Sung Court, neither with a man's politics nor his religion, neither with a man's politics nor with heaven. And Plotinus his bellyache, a great perversion from Plotinus his bellyache, though he still thought God of all men. The body is inside. This clean out and that's all, said Chu the accomplished. Re tau talk e basta. That's all there is to it. Prolong the animal spirits. But you folk will go and believe 'em. 7. Get rid of flimsy foundations. Our ancestors thought that closed minds do no good to the empire, nor, ut supra, scraping iron off the point of a needle. Let a man do a good job at his trade. Whence is honesty? Whence are good manners, good custom? This is Tuan Cheng, good living, e basta. There are 5 relativities, state, family and friendship, amicitia, dolt, clear musician, the precise man and the clumsy. There are 4 books and the 5 relations. Fools fall for weapons and poisons. You are not all of you idiots. There are a lot of you who will not fall for this hokum. But your females like to burn incense and buzz round in crowds and processions. Mr. Ballard animadverts on the similarities in all priestcraft, vide subject missions and Canto whatever. Buddha ipse is said to have been annoyed with such hokum, and as for that argo for the dialect of their incarnation, and Towsers turn out to chase devils. Papists did help with the calendar, Poolcove sin. Of heaven, earth, and of things without shadows, cut the cackle and do not believe 'em. Better physical poison than brainwash, sin shu hai. The mind at the start had cheng, greed defrauds it. Some want more than they can get in a lifetime. 2 incarnations in every home, woeful. And you go uphill to seek wooden ones, quang, quang, ming, ming, said Kati, tien, tang, sin lay. Confucians observe the weather, hear thunder, seek to include. Bud, man by negation. That's the ideogram. It's the shape of the ideogram signifying the Buddha. But their first classic, that the heart should be straight, the phallus perceive its aim. Tinkle, tinkle, 2 tongues, no, but down on the word with exactness, against gnashing of teeth, upper incisors. Poultry yatter, whoa, whoa, poultry yatter. But as Chu said, not to do with taking hold of anything in the 4 coins of the universe, heaven, earth, or what, so damn no handle, no clear quan, chow quan, care for control. But to live as flowers are reflected, as moonlight, free from all possessiveness and affections, but as Chu says, egoistical. As to building temples for the benefit of contractors or images for the benefit of the gilders, the incense market will benefit from your wives' red and green dresses as they run about mid-riffraff acquiring merit by comedy, or by tragedy after fool vows to release souls with burnt paper. Buddha, divine, to be bought with a few bits of silver and enraged if his priests do not get it. But if a scholar wants by one sniff to force up his reputation, or has eye on grain cut in exchange, agiotage, profit motive, in and out of the Yemen, horning in on officials, mediate handouts and handovers, raise firewords, swish-wash, and not one dot of decency in his conduct, a mere dribble with an ex-mortarboard label, gay angti gen, a low flow and a low flow, a rice doghead pileu for ruin. Anting made rules and observed them. 2 schools for government preparation, classic and government business, and they were neat as a bird's beak, his students. And in hand time was Wen Wang, held office in 4 streams, Penye, ne ultra crepidam, as Dolmetsch or Big Top, and that scholars read odes and turn conversation toward justice. Siu Ta'an in the home, Quan Chang in office, talk modus, keep mind on the root. Ability is grain in the wheat ear, establish the homestead, teach kids to keep out of mischief, sow to the very corner. Most people have sons or brothers. Study the ancient king sages as compass and T-square, to have masters in village schools to teach 'em classics, not hogwash, and that the Kiang Sheng is to be read once a month to start 'em, like the ceremonial furrow. Generation being linked to posterity, excellence is from learning, Hiao Sin, an abbreviation for from ignorance, foulness, completeness, focus, or ruin, who I tone for. And if your kids don't study, that's your fault. Tell 'em. Don't kid yourself and don't lie in statement. Answer. In conversation, not with sissified fussiness, chiao, always want your own way. Let 'em ask before taking action, that there be no slovenly sloppiness between good man and wife. Great is great, little is little, with friends 1 is 1, 2 is 2. Not to lie out of heedlessness, let alone out of trickery, fitting the tone to their words as water goes over the mill wheel. Dress 'em in folderols and feed 'em with dainties, in the end they will sell out the homestead. Taxes for public utility, a share of a product. People have bodies, ergo they sow and reap. Soldiers also have bodies. Take care of the body as implement. It is useful to shield you from floods and rascality. Born of the blue sky and a wildcat, cloud and thunder and rain, basalt, the stone gong. If, as Yao said, you can keep these 2 lovelies in order, you forget the timing of budgets. That is to say, you probably don't even know that officials exist in time. You are fairly unconscious. Siang is siang, but in muddle and incomprehension. The contemplation of outlay, xiao, tzu, for memorial. The Kao Cheng is according to harvest, the tax as a share of something produced. You can waste more on tips and wangles. Tiers is a progress from Talleyrand, less brain and more morals. Panorgia, Sophia, what will not do, are distinguished by what they will not. Cannibals would resist canaries, ersatz at a given state of enlightenment, Scienza 14. Through the 10 voices of the tradition, the land has been ploughed at TNT, and there have been taxes in kind and by liang measure. This is important. As to the scope of such taxes, all courts have levied them. The right pattern of levy is yang cheng, id est for use, not a fountain of folderols for top popinjays. Wranglings won't get you out of it, high and low, top and under, incorporate and in one body. The ups are not malevolent. You might consider their complications. Dikes for flood water. Someone must build 'em, must plan 'em. By the 10 mouths of the tradition, have peace, meaning get rid of criminality, catch 'em. Ancestral spring making breed, a pattern, young. 12 inches, guinea an inch, said Elkin Matthews in regard to Courtney's review. The state is corporate, as with pulse in its body, and with due right at the root of it. The root is through all of it, a tone in all public teaching. This is not a work of fiction, or yet of one man. The 6 kinds of action, filial, reciprocal, sincerity from old until now holding together, not shallow in verbal usage nor in dissociation. Shallow prides, feeble dissociations, and spend their time slanting rumors, keep things off-center, slander and blabbermouth, rail, scold and ructions, monesco, and the whole family suffers. The whole tribe is from one man's body. What other way can you think of it? The surname and the 9 arts. The Father's word is compassion, the Son's filiality, the brother's word mutuality, the younger's word deference. Small birds sing in chorus. Harmony is in the proportion of branches, as clarity chow. Compassion, trees root and water spring. The state, order inside a boundary. Law, reciprocity. What is statute save reciprocity? One village in order, one valley will reach the 4 seas. Chen, Hugh El Rey wish you to think of this edict. Having heard that provisions are the root of the people, logistica nunc sang to sprout in season and have trees for your silkworms. One big chap not plough, one female not weave can mean shortage. From of old the sovereign likes ploughing, the empress tends trees with reverence, nor shrink from the heat of labour, an omen. The plan is in nature, rooted, coming from earth, times chang respected, their powers converging, chew for assemble, there is a must at the root of it, not one man's mere power. Through high, low, parch and dampness, high, dry for panicled millet, damp, low for rice, non-glutinous and paddy, moo cheeing paley interest, not for a quick buck at high interest. The legal rate does not exhaust things, Byzance did better. Don't burn to abandon production and go into trading, dig up root to chase branches. Vide Michelet and Ambrose de Tobia, the rate in Byzance was lower, as can continuous far, Cassadur, established that everybody got some education and you had literate Confucians in the bureaucracy. Focus of men of ability solidified our good customs, shut out graceful bigots and moderate thundering phalli. This is a mistranslation. Strong, weak, to one cooperation, our sage forebear examined to stimulate, anagogico, and more especially magnified schools, everything that would bring up esprit de corps, trained his officers not to slant government and to be ready for anything. First the basic in his own practice, then village usage, to see what style for the casting. Filiality and fraternity are the root, talents to be considered as branches. Precise terminology is the first implement, dish and container, after that the 9 arts. And study the classic books, the straight history, all of it candid. Be friends with straight officers, chow communicate, they are your communications. A hasty chirp may raise ruin. You, soldiers, civilians, are not headed to be professors. The basis is man and the rectification of officers. But the 4 tuan are from nature, geni lici, not from descriptions in the schoolhouse. They are the scholar's job, the gentleman's and the officer's. There is worship in ploughing and equity in the weeding hoe. A field marshal can be literate. Might we see it again in our day? All I want is a generous spirit in customs. First, honest man's heart demands sane curricula. No, that is not textual. Let him analyze the trick programs and fake foundations. The Fujian receives heaven, earth, middle, and grows.